Welcome to the Bringing Simplicity podcast, where launches come to life. I'm Judy, the co-host and co-owner of Bringing Simplicity. I've been helping businesses build their launch processes for hypergrowth by simplifying sales and hiring. I'm committed to your success through leveraging your people and systematizing for scale.
I'm Greta, co-host and co-owner of Bringing Simplicity. I've been helping businesses launch successfully for over a decade by multiplying their results through simple processes. I'm a data lover and technology lover who obsesses over every KPI. So grab your laptops and lattes and get ready to launch with simplicity. Today, we are talking about how complexity is the killer of success.
Yeah, right? And I think that everyone thinks that it's the more attractive thing to do for businesses. Like if we encompass all of these things in a business, if we become the Costco of whatever online business we're trying to do, then that's going to lead to success. Or if we become the Walmart, which by the way, if you guys don't know, Walmart's like one of the lowest profit margin companies out there. So if you don't think that complexity is the killer to profits, then you're certainly wrong. They could probably be more profitable if they didn't deliver all of these things. So I think that's what it is. If I were to compare it to business, I think a lot of times we go into businesses and they're like, I want to do this. I want to develop this app. I want to write a book. I want to do this. And then I also want a shop so that way they can buy these physical things. And also I want to do events and I want to do, and we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where, time, energy, money, and it just becomes too complex. And then it sounds great too. By the way, all of those things are amazing.
But Judy, I think also not only that, they're not super profitable at the point that they make a jump from doing one thing to doing them all. So to me, that's part of it too, right?
That is part of it, but we hear this all the time, Greta, and some people who are listening are probably like, well, I don't really care about profits. Because most of the clients that have come to us are like at the beginning, like they don't care about it at the beginning. They're like, I just want to get this business started. I know I have to, quote unquote, invest. Usually they have exited a company when they're coming to us and they're about to, start this new business venture of becoming a coach. And they're like, oh, I've got, X amount of dollars. I'm ready to invest. I'm doing the long-term game here. So even if it doesn't come, but we find that sweet spot, like you said, where like month 4, they're like, wait a minute, I've invested how much
and this isn't super fun to not make any money.
Isn't super fun anymore. And now I'm tired.
Yeah.
And even people who are making money, even if there are people on your team and they know, they can sense it. Like, even if they know, like, oh, you're investing all this money, but if they can feel that you're not profiting and you're feeling it, they're going to be able to be like, how long is my job really here? So I think
also, let's talk about the difference between investing in your business and investing in things like people who coach you on how to be a speaker, who coach you on all of those things. And nothing, if you're one of those people listening, nothing against you. But the issue is when businesses are just starting out, those aren't the investments that are going to recoup profits, because being a TEDx speaker is awesome, but that's definitely a long game. Like that is like, could take years before they, fully reap the benefits. Yeah. Because a lot of times they're spending more time coming up with what they're going to talk about on stage than they are developing a quality product.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. And so if you're like Greta, like you said, like if you're investing in those items that coach, which like Greta said, by the way, coaching is great. I mean, we recommend that you do invest in coaching if you're a coach. Like all of those things, we recommend everybody should invest in a coach. But there's a time and a place for every part of your business, and it just depends on where you are. And we're really talking about those people who are probably within the part of where they just want to seek profit, right? And typically investing in a quote unquote speaking coach is not the best use of your money or time, unless that's exclusively all you're going to do. Like if you are exclusively only speaking on stages, that's the only way you're going to get leads. That's like what you're going to do. Like, yes, let's invest in that. You should 100%. But if you are someone who's like, no, I only want to speak once. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I want to put it on my YouTube channel. I want it to be out there. I want people to like whatever. You don't necessarily need a coach to do that. Most of you who are listening to this are pretty smart and can use YouTube University to have someone coach you through that and record yourself, watch yourself, and play it over and over again, and you'll become a great speaker. So, if complexity is the killer and simplicity is the cure, you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me?
Yeah.
And Greta, in our years of working together and working with hundreds of clients, that we've narrowed it down to three things that you can simply focus on, and it's going to drive profit and profit really soon, immediately. Usually within, I mean, we've seen people get profits within the first 2 months. We've seen people get profits even within the first month. It depends on how long they've been in business. Usually they have been in business for a little bit before that first month. But if they follow these three things, it certainly leads to some sort of increase in profit if they already are profitable, or it gets them to their first profitable month.
For sure. And not only have we seen it work for our clients, we've literally seen the alternative. So we've watched them try to do things for a year without seeing profits. So they're trying other methods, they're trying other sequences of doing things. And then when they work with us, usually within a month to 2 months, we've started to turn a profit. And then within 6 months, we've started to turn a significant profit. And it's not necessarily that we're doing everything completely differently than how they were doing. It's what we're prioritizing. And it's the order in which we focus on doing things. Right?
Yeah. And it definitely is what we're prioritizing. And like you said, the order and also the energy behind each piece. So that's why when we say like, because you might be thinking, oh, I have all, like, I'm ready to go. I have all this free time now. I just sold my company. I have plenty of time to run ads on every single platform that I want to do and record 10 hours of social media content every week. You do, and you can, but our focus is we really dial in to what is going to work for you and your business, because it worked over here and because you were successful over here, or because you've seen your friend who's been successful over here. It doesn't mean that's going to work for you, right? Like
Mhm.
what works for Gary Vee doesn't work for everyone out there, for example, right? He does his thing the way, but your audience is going to need that differently. So the three things, and the first thing that we focus on is connection. And so if we were to break it down even further, Greta, because you're usually the one that helps them establish that connection.
So when we're talking to our clients about connection, we're obviously, I say obviously, but I guess it's not obvious. We're talking about social media in some way, shape, or form. And we try to keep it simple. So we are not the people who are going to tell you you have to be on Instagram, you have to be on Facebook, you have to be on TikTok, you have to be on X, you have to be on YouTube, you have to be like, I mean, the list can go on, right? And everybody's going to tell you like, oh, you have to be on LinkedIn. Oh, you have to be this one place because that's where your people are hanging out. There's some truth to that, but the reality is like we have found clients personally in the craziest ways. Our clients pretty much stick to meta platforms, so Instagram and Facebook, even though some may argue that like, oh, you'd be better off on LinkedIn or oh, you'd be better off. The reality is you're better off not diversifying, at least in the beginning, because let's be honest, we all have a love-hate relationship with social media. So, first of all, I'm here to give you permission that when you're connecting with individuals, you don't have to be on every channel. Why? Because then it stretches you thin in terms of creating content and it reduces the connection piece. So, anytime that we're creating social media content, whether it's paid or organic, I am focused on, is this building a relationship with my audience? Is it encouraging them to communicate with me in a real, authentic way? And I don't necessarily shy away from sales because I'm lucky to have Judy in my life who consistently tells me how important sales are. But also, you don't have to come across as super salesy in order to sell. And I mean, we go into this way more in depth. I feel like I could spend a whole episode just on how to create content that connects, and we probably will. But the bottom line is here when we're thinking about complexity versus simplicity and how it applies to connection is keep it simple. Don't be on every single platform. Don't focus on your number of followers. Honestly, don't really look at your data for the first 30 days. I will if you're working with us, but it's easy to get discouraged on social media. And so I would just focus on, am I connecting with new people every day? And you can choose to do that even by sending a genuine message to people in messages, like in DMs. Not a, hey, I want to sell to you, but a, hey, I'm looking, forward to learning more about who you are and what you do. So the connection piece is a game changer, I would say, for every client we work with who finally feels like they can breathe and that social media isn't just one giant billboard where they have to be creating constant posts. We also, people don't believe it, but we typically with our clients have them post 3 to 4 times a week, and that's it. Now we have them do stories and we do have paid reach, but we're not posting twice a day. We aren't worried about the number of followers. We're trying to keep it simple.
Yeah. And it's keeping it simple through maximizing your time. And like Greta said, to build that connection on that one platform. And let's be honest, I don't like we are all great at our in our own right. We've all done amazingly well. And you think like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Like I'm just gonna go and on Instagram, I'm just gonna start posting, it's gonna blow up. I'm gonna be able to make those connections. We've seen it time and time again where somebody has just been super successful, made millions in a company. They go to Instagram and their content doesn't connect. It doesn't connect. They don't know how to authentically respond and connect with people in the DMs. Like once they get on there, they freeze. They're like, I don't know what to post on my stories. I don't know what content to put out there. This isn't converting. This isn't really attracting my ideal audience. So really know to learn and know and grow your audience, you really need to focus on one platform until you really master it. And you're like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. And you master it when you're a master, in our opinion, you're able to pass that on to someone else to be able to replicate for you. So you're able to pass that information so then you can take yourself out of the connection piece. Yes, you're the one recording the content, but somebody else is the one writing your captions, editing it, building those relationships in the DMs for you. If you think that all the people that you see, that if you think that all these people are they're not. Even now, like any of the people that have those mini chats where they're like, I respond with, I know this isn't you, this is probably your team, but I also want you to know I love this response. I love this caption or whatever. And some people will say, like, I'm not going to say everyone does that. Some people still write their own captions, things like that, and that's fine, but you're probably not as profitable as you could be if you are. So, yeah, so the first one, connection, and which leads to the main part, the biggest part of the business, I would say, is the conversion piece. So the
Yeah.
second part of complexity is really the conversion and making that too complex for them. So in your opinion, what do you see that they're doing and how can they simplify their
Yeah.
conversion?
And I feel like, again, I'm like so lucky to have you in my world and in my ear because I think we are such a good balance of like the sales piece. Because the thing is that if you offer something that it can be life changing to a person, and you can define life changing however you want, you can't be afraid to make the sale. You can't be afraid to make the conversion because you have to view sales as a service. And so, what I see people doing that makes it super complicated is they have like all of this like free content, free whatever, and they never make the ask, or they have like a really crazy funnel that you're like, do you even understand the customer journey? Probably not. And I always, when I see like super long funnels, I haven't even told you this, but like this image won't go from my head. I don't know if any of you guys play games on your phone, but do you see that one where it's like the army and you can choose like the times 10 or divide by 10 and then like the army gets smaller as you weave your way through? I always picture it as like if your funnel is too long, you're literally like, I mean, you start off with this many people at top of funnel and then the more they move down, they go away. And I mean, that some of that's by design. You want to make sure you're filtering through the best leads, but when you have too many stops along the way, people just lose attention.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, everyone, all of the people, which we follow a lot of people who build funnels, build sales funnels, build any type of funnel that you're building. I mean, even I've worked in recruitment a long time. I do a lot of the hiring processes for our clients. That's a funnel too. And you want to convert them, right? You want to convert them, but you also want to deter people away from you. And that's a part of why the connection and the conversion piece go hand in hand and why we do both. Right? We do the ads and organic reach for the connection piece and do the social media, but we also do the conversion, which what we're really known for is building those funnels, building those email sequences, and building those teams to say, hey, thanks for connecting. This is how I can serve you. Like Greta said, sales is a service. And Russell Brunson says, like, it is your like moral responsibility, something along these lines. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like your moral responsibility. If you know that this can help someone, if you know that your service, product, whatever can help someone, it is your moral responsibility to go out there and sell it and tell them that you can help them, that you can serve them, and how you can do it. And it's all through the email sequences, the copywriting, the technical automation pieces that Greta built, the mini chats, right? All of that is for the conversion. Yes, a little bit of the connection piece, but a lot of it is the conversion to get them to continue to say, hey, this might be for you if, and if now's not the right time, they may still be in your funnel. And we've done a great job of entering those people in. And some people will reply, if your funnel is really good, they'll usually reply with, I'm so interested. This resonates with me, but I'm not ready right now. That's
Yeah.
great. That's a
I was
win.
just gonna say, I feel like a lot of people struggle with the not right now. And we've talked about, I mean, we'll talk about this way more in depth, but like those reactivation campaigns, I mean, we run monthly masterclasses for one of our clients, and we have people who register for 3 of them before they actually attend and then ultimately buy. What if we had given up after the first time? Right? And this really ties into our third C, which is commitment. Because if you want to be successful, you have to have commitment. And sometimes we look at commitment from a complex standpoint and we think that commitment means you have to do more things more often. But Judy, how would you describe commitment if you're looking at it from a stance of simplicity?
Yeah. So when I think about commitment, it's playing the long term. It's what everyone as an entrepreneur, whoever a business owner is, we have this in us. We are committed through the process, no matter the outcome, even no matter the profit. Like we're so committed to the mission that we're willing to do it on days that we don't feel like it. We're consistent with what it takes to commit. This is, and by the way, your business is like a marriage. You're married to your business in some way, shape, or form. It's a
For real.
contractual agreement. You have a commitment to your business and to your client. You've signed a contract once you've complete, like you filled out the LLC paperwork. You signed a contract with yourself, like with your business, and you're committed. The same thing, like marriage, relationship, whatever you want to talk about. You are so committed to doing it on days that it's hard, right? Like when you're, and maybe I shouldn't use marriage as an example, but when you're, but like yeah, you're not going to like it every day. You're not going to love your partner like every second of every day. You're probably going to be mad. You might love them, but you're probably going to be mad at them. They're probably going to do something to make you mad. Something's going to happen in your business. A client's going to say something to deter you off, to make you upset. Something's going to break. I promise you, something is going to break. Once a week, probably when you first get started, something's going to happen, and you're going to be like, oh, why am I doing this? But when you are so committed to building your business, you will get up and do it no matter the outcome. And those profits always follow. They
Yeah.
always come. When you come in to do the reps, it's the same thing as like long term when you're starting like a diet or Greta, even for kids, like if you see your kids going through things, right? Like you see them like years and you're like, oh, they started doing for your girls like tumbling gymnastics. Like, yeah, they're not very great at it at the beginning, but you're going to tell them, hey, you're doing an awesome job.
You know what's
But
funny
you're
though? I'm
committed
actually
to it.
glad you brought up the tumbling because I think you got to go through it with me too, obviously, because you've
Mhm.
gotten endless videos over the years of kiddos doing the same
Yeah.
skills in some ways. But I think actually it's a really good touch point on not only are you committed to showing up, you're committed to doing the basics. I mean, my kiddo who's, fairly good at tumbling spent almost 6 months doing handstand push-ups to strengthen her shoulders so that when she moved to doing flips, she didn't hurt her shoulders. It would have been real easy for her to say, I want to just move on quickly. It would have been real easy for her to say, hey, mom, I don't want to go to tumbling anymore because I'm tired of doing handstand push ups. I just want to flip. But it's not just commitment to the business in terms of like, I'm going to show up and do the things. It's, I'm going to show up and do the things that are like boring and the basics.
So basic and that are time consuming. And you might be thinking, why am I doing this right now? Like, why am I the one? Which, if you have a team of 2 to 3, yes, you as a CEO and founder are probably going to be the one that has to look at the 500 applicants that come through when you post a new job. Like, that is not fun. It's not exciting. I'm a recruiter, and that's not super exciting for me to do days on end, right? But it's what's needed to commit to your client's success and thinking about your mission of what you might think are boring, simple tasks that are much needed to drive the profitability in your company and be able to create the results that you want long term. It's the non glamorous stuff that people don't like talking about. Like, nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to say, how did you get here? Like, they want to know all of the other stuff that they want to do, but it's really the stuff that you don't want to do that you're
Yeah.
committed to, like you said. Nobody likes doing it. No one has ever woken up and been like, I cannot wait to shoot 10 hours of video content today. No, and by the way, no millionaire I have ever met was super excited about doing it. They're not. Like, they might look super excited on the other end when you get the final result, but I promise you, they're not. They don't like doing it. And you may never like doing it.
Yeah. So when we work with clients, they typically have been doing something for some amount of time. They haven't seen the success that they want to see. And they come to us because they've heard from somebody else through the grapevine that we have this magic secret recipe to bring success because we've done it, multiple times, have gone 0 to 1 million or 40K to 1 million. We just say 0 to 1 million because in a lot of ways it feels like it was zero. And they want that too. And what we often realize when we work with them is that they have created a business that is so complex that the answer, the solution is us bringing simplicity, right? It is simplicity. And we hope that what you've gleaned from this episode is do less, be more strategic, and get really clear on what are the basics that you have to do well in order to be successful. And for us, I mean, argue with us, but for us, success is directly tied to profits because nobody wants to put endless hours into a business that's not making money. I mean, even nonprofits want to make money so that they can pay their bills. So, I mean, I hope that that's your big takeaway, Judy. I don't know if you have a different way you would say it because I think that's the beauty of the two of us is we see things slightly from our own angle.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, think about what you can reduce. Like, if you're listening to this, think about, what can I simplify? What am I making too challenging? What am I doing? That's causing me stress or anxiety in my business. And just take out 1 to 2 things, and you're gonna have some breathing room, and you're gonna start seeing some movement and results in your business. So, yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly.
Awesome. So, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Our next episodes are going to be on one of our very favorite topics. Actually, everything we do is very favorite, so you'll hear me say that constantly. But we're going to be talking all about launches because that, in addition to funnels, launches and funnels are kind of our two areas of expertise. So we can't wait to talk simplicity and launches with you.